It's week 18 of Major League Rugby in the 2019 season, and it's do or die for the home team, the Toronto Arrows, as well as the Glendale Raptors. A place in the top four, up for grabs if these teams can finish off on winning ways in the last 2 weeks of the season. Taking a look at the standings, well, remember, the top number 1 seed will host number 4, 2 will host 3, but there are plenty of games still to go. Rugby Night at New York, even NOLA, Seattle, Arrows and the Raptors still have a chance to make the top 4. We are not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. This weekend witnessed Houston 6 tries to 1. They took out the Austin Elite team, and right now it's NOLA up 10-7 in the first half against New York. That one will be a pressure cooker, and then later Seattle take on Utah and Salt Lake City. Hello and welcome to Lamport Stadium. I'm Dallin Stanford, joined alongside my Kit McConaughey, and this one, as we said, is an absolute barn burner. How do you see these two teams shaping up?
Well, it's a must-win, as you said, down for both these teams. The difference is Glendale, they do not hold their future in their own hands. They need some help if they're going to get in. Toronto, it's win and get in. The home team looking to extend that 5-match unbeaten streak.
Talk us through the keys here for this one, Kit.
All right, take a look at the keys. First for the home team, ride the wave. Mentioned momentum. They have the momentum at the right time. They are winners of their last 5. Keep it going. They're fresh legs. Got a bye week at the best possible time. And the scrum, a real advantage for the Arrows. They'll be looking to use it. For Glendale, well, for the visitors, it's about bouncing back. Their first loss ever at home put a huge dent in their playoff chances a week ago. They have to break the top team in the league in line breaks and tackle breaks. We'll be looking for more today. And no tomorrow. They must win with a try bonus to have any shot of getting into the playoffs. Key players for Toronto, well, the lock, number 4, Mike Shepard. He's been outstanding all season long. 4th consecutive week he has made Major League Rugby's first 15. 6 of the last 7 weeks, leads by example. A team-high 19 tackles a week ago. And for Glendale, Johnny Ryberg, an astounding 200 meters last week in the loss to Seattle. Also, 4 line breaks, 4 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, and 4 tackles in defense for Ryberg.
Time for a short break, and when we come back, it's the kickoff between the Arrows from Canada and the Raptors from the United States.
Once again, Katarzyna Casella. Once again, Arrow fans want to own one of these special edition jerseys being worn today. Look for the Rugby versus Cancer volunteers and place your bid. The entire set this afternoon will be auctioned off, and all proceeds go to Rugby versus Cancer. Also, fans want to own a special edition Rugby versus Cancer supporter wall. They're on sale at the Rugby versus Cancer table at the north end here at Lamport Stadium. You can also make donations online at any time. RugbyVersusCancer.com. partner Honda is celebrating its 50th anniversary here in Canada and would like to give you a chance to test your Honda knowledge and enter for a chance to win a 2019 Honda Civic Sedan Tour. To play now, go to arrows.com.
Today's Toronto lineup is presented by Cosmos.
Talent throughout the starting 15 for the Arrows, but particularly on that front row, which anchors a very talented forward pack. You look at Brower, Quattro, Mitchell, and the back line. Leivas and Miras combined 139 caps for Uruguay, along with the captain Moore. Very talented if they're able to get the ball in space.
And today they face the Glendale Raptors with 3 changes. Will Monroe in at lock. Brendan Daly shifts to the flank as Pete Doll's currently in Ethiopia on vacation. And in the backs, 9 and 10 changes there. It is Carlo Denoyson and Will McGee in for Dave Williams' side. We're going to go down to our third member of the broadcast crew, Samantha McDade.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Sam McDade, and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we have a special rugby versus cancer game. Now we have the Toronto Arrows taking on the Glendale Raptors of the MLR in a very exciting matchup on the pitch here at Lamport Stadium. The Arrows, with only 7 regular season home advantage games, they sit in the middle of the table in 5th position. Now the Raptors, their opponents, are just 1 position lower than them in 6th. So we're going to see them really take it to the pitch here today as they try and make some ground within the standings. Gentlemen, we've already introduced ourselves here on the broadcast. It's a beautiful day for rugby here in Toronto, and the fans are excited to see this match.
Our referee, Anthony Woodthorpe, with the whistle in hand, and that wasn't Harley Davidson you saw in your picture. He's on the field wearing a Raptors jersey. That was one of our fans who delivers the match ball for this wonderful occasion. Another home match, the 3rd of 4 here at Lamport Stadium. Unbeaten so far, the Arrows at this ground. Big storms yesterday, but beautiful 70 degrees, slight breeze from the west.
Ready?
As we get ready for kickoff. On the left of your screen, it's the home side, the Toronto Arrows, captained by Dan Moore. And on the right, the Glendale Raptors in yellow to receive the first restart. It's Luke White, captain's role for him, the armband taken over from Sean Davies, who is on the bench.
I'll be excited to see what we see out of Glendale early after that tough loss to Toronto or to Seattle. There's still a chance for them, but they need the hot start. They need to bounce back. You want to see what the Raptors have early in this match.
The boxing there from Denoyson. And Fernalio has it. The mole cop, as he's affectionately known, knocked on there. Big tackle coming from Rob Brower, 36-year-old, just lending his experience in there and forcing the turnover.
Brower, so impressive, 36 years old. You mentioned he started playing rugby when he was a senior in high school. He grew up on a farm, so he didn't have time for sports, but what a career it's been for him. He says his goal is to make that Canadian World Cup squad, and then maybe he'll consider retirement.
Big tackle then Harley Davidson as well, ranging back. So first set-piece scrum, and there really has been an area that they've impressed.
And this is really where you want to see Toronto take advantage. The scrum has been fantastic. The front row, along with that second row of Shepard and Cellini, they need to make an impact early. Take it to Glendale.
First look here, and they're going to reset. No, it's a penalty straight away.
Yes, hold your weight.
Zach Fernolio being pinged there. They're going to go for another scrum, and again, it was the Glendale Raptors pinged for not supporting their own body weight.
It was indeed. You saw Fernolio, who's been fantastic at the breakdown, great in the ruck, and that's one of the strengths for Glendale, getting quick ball out. But the scrum, you take another look. Fernolio, number 2, the hooker, commits the infraction. And it will be another scrum to Toronto. This is what Toronto wants. Slow things down a bit, really put their mark on it, and let those big boys up front go to work.
Brower, Quattron, and Mitchell. Mitchell started rugby at age 5. Even played a season in New Zealand with the Southland Stags.
What a story is Morgan Mitchell, and he's been a great addition to this Arrows side.
Ball comes out there for Ferguson. Under pressure, though, from Taramai. So flat ball, they've got to smash it up through Jacep de Trois, man from Johannesburg, South Africa. They go back to the forwards, though. Nobody was looking.
No advantage, tight head angle.
The angle in at scrum time, so another penalty there against the Glendale Raptors. Worrying signs for them early on.
And not a good start for Glendale. Another penalty. Unfortunate because Toronto, no one paying attention. Poor balls looking out for Moonlight. The firefighter was closest to it. And Toronto spared the blushes, and they will send this one out into touch.
Knocked back in, Harley Davidson. Superb skill from him. Denoyson finds Dylan Taikato-Simpson, just known as DTS for short. And this is a magical kick down the field. And Taikato-Simpson, he's been one of the players, I will say, of the whole Major League rugby season.
He's been outstanding, has the man known as DTS. He and Ryberg last week in week 17, both making MLR first 15 in for good reason. Beautiful play. Able to keep that in. It's absolutely fantastic. And now Glendale switching field.
Step across.
You expect the set pieces, not just the scrum, but the line out as well to be an advantage for Toronto.
Quadrant to throw. Made 127 tackles so far, very impressive. And little dummy thrown as Ferguson snipes through the little half gap. 10 caps for Canada. Moonlight over this one now. Broad first receiver. Thought about passing, but his skill set better to pick and go. Ball at the back there for Luke Campbell.
Use it.
To the halfway line. It's the home side, and they get their third penalty. And as things are starting to stack up here against the Glendale team.
3 minutes in, 3 penalties committed by the Raptors, and they need to clean things up very quickly. Right now, Toronto, everything going their way. Possession, the penalties committed by the visitors.
Eight was legal, but 3 was on the wrong side.
Nice kick there from Sam Malcolm, the 23-year-old. From Wanganui in New Zealand, puts his side in a nice line-out attacking platform.
That's a great halfback pairing that Toronto has between Ferguson and Malcolm. Both have improved immensely as the season has progressed. They're on the same page. They get better each and every time out. Toronto, winners of their last 5, the hottest team in Major League Rugby, and could not have come at a better time.
They go to the tail of the line-out.
15, line out over.
Milazzo does well there. 53 line-out takes, now 54. Second in the league in Major League Rugby this season. Ball at the back there for Andrew Quattrin. They make some meters. Still the same maul as they drive it forward. Bodies piling in there. Morgan Mitchell lending a bit of muscle up front. Mitchell now for the line. Big unit. Mitchell is over. It's Game of Thrones stuff here from the Arrows. They strike first within the first 5 minutes.
Morgan Mitchell, so dangerous, ball in hand. A fantastic carry from the tight head prop, the Kiwi, the former Southland Stags man. Just great work, patient. Saw Quattrin with it, took his time. Quattrin burying his head, making tough meters. Mitchell there wisely gives him the word. Quattrin turns it over, and Mitchell a bowling ball. And at 275 pounds, not to be denied. And a fantastic start for Toronto.
Well, as you mentioned, the man from Gore in New Zealand.
That last scrum, the picture, the tight head
75 carries, the most active forward for the home team.
Perfect, thank you.
And that one was something special. Really, scrum time has upset this Glendale team, and they face themselves. Attempted conversion here from young fly of Sam Malcolm. Malcolm has been good with the boot. He finds himself third with conversions. This one will put him closer to JP Eloff and Brock Staller from Nola and the Seawolves respectively. And no, it hits the upright and comes down. So 5-0 after 5 minutes.
The question, Dallin, for everyone across Major League Rugby watching this match, how would Glendale come out? A very tough loss last week, effectively taking them out of the playoff picture. They're still in. There's a very slight opportunity that they can make it. They must win. Some teams must lose, but not how they wanted to start up here in Ontario.
Will McGee, he's great on, invented the Monopoly board game, or so he tells me. Kicks off. Toronto received this one nicely. Get their forward pod set up. Fernolo offers the tackle. They keep it in hand initially. Just to go further, deeper. Kick over the top here. McGee didn't expect that one. A mammoth kick rolling towards the try line, but he has to pick it up because it's just in front, and that is something special off the boot yet again. And this Arrow side march upfield.
Yeah, mentioning what Glendale would have to do to get into the playoffs. They need to beat Toronto and Houston in this 4-day stretch. They need 2 bonus point victories, and they need an 0-2 finish for New York, plus no bonus points for Toronto. So it's going to be an uphill climb.
Tactically, they do well to use that breeze. Kick down towards the 22, and Quattrin, man who played in the Ontario Premiership for Aurora Barbarians. Also Canada under 20.
Fellas, give yourself some space.
They need to have that meter gap, says referee Woodthorpe.
Okay, give yourself some space. Thank you.
Well, the Raptor team, 7 wins so far this season, but only 1 away. Short ball, beautiful line as they come through. Augustin Meares with a dummy. Brought down there by a good tackle from Taramai. It's still alive as they crack on the line. Campbell yet again, inside the 22. Arrows, Brower. Support from his teammates. The home team yet again looking for work. Leandro Levas 3 tries in Major League Rugby so far from the winger. And it's a penalty. Zach Fernello is delighted for the Glendale side.
A huge penalty there, a massive mistake. Fantastic work from Toronto, and give Mieres, the 29-year-old Uruguayan from Punta del Este, a lot of credit. He got things started deep in Glendale territory, but Toronto, the self-inflicted wound. You take another look at it. Good ball, and Mieres able to break through one, appeared to be off to the races.
Glendale, a great turnover there, so they punch it up to halfway. They'll have a line out, but again, you've got to feel that they're under the conch here. Mentioned their away record. Well, they beat Toronto Arrows 22-0, but again, that was at home, and they really struggled on the road.
That was at home back on March the 2nd during a snowstorm there in the Rocky Mountains. Very different conditions here today.
Nason comes to Luke White. Good carry from the man who's set to be married next year. Had dinner with him and his family last week. He was raised well, and he's the engine room for them as they go to Cruze. Ball over the top, it's a nice one. First touch for Big Johnny Ryberg, and he's hammered into touch. Morgan Mitchell take a bow.
Mitchell all over the pitch. Ryberg so dangerous. Last week, 13 carries, a whopping 200 meters gained. A beautiful ball, and Mitchell there to meet him. Talk about force on power. What a collision.
Mitchell, 300 pounds of New Zealand muscle, and Ryberg, probably you add 600, I'd say. He has really been an absolute menace for any opposition winger. I'm glad I'm not playing rugby these days with him around.
And Ryberg's so impressive, just 27 years old, started playing at 21 there at the University of Iowa, and how far he has come in 6 short years. One of the top players in Major League Rugby.
Zach Fernolio, educated at Loyola Marymount University, played with Balmond Shaw out there for a while before moving to the Raptors. Potentially his final few games in a Raptor jersey. He had a farewell last week at home. They didn't get the result they wanted though, as Fafita takes it in. Big Kalepi, 23 years young. And now London, nobody around there, so it's been intercepted, then dropped.
Just a knock on.
Levas, Colo Levas, the man from Montevideo, unable to secure it. Colo thought he was going to be off, had it batted around. The impressive combination of the 2 Uruguayans, Levas and Mieres, when they are in the backfield together, you know they pair well. They played together at the national team level. When they're both healthy, something to watch.
What's so interesting seeing that the Raptors side, we know they can score so many tries. We have the top try scorer in the league, and Johnny Muscles Ryberg with 13 scores. The rest of them can break the line. But the defensive effort from Toronto this season has been magnificent. 11 players with over 100 tackles each. I did the math. It's basically tackling every other player in the league 8 times each.
Toronto takes great pride in defense. The physicality, something that Glendale was unable to match last week against Seattle. They will have to here today.
They go quickly from the scrum. They know it's tricky. Ryberg on the outside. Big Johnny Ryberg, well contained. Tackle there from Spencer Jones. And then a short line from Murphy Taramai. The Kiwi to the 22. Denason, quick possession. And Luke White, another good angle. Scored an excellent try last week. They called him Bigfoot there. As the Raptors get close. Malon Al-Jaburi in to help out as well. Colin Denason wants to get it out. Taramai is right by with Fafita. It's a penalty. Denason from 5 out, dives, he's over. Easy as you like. The Raptors strike back, and it's Colo Denason that gets the first try for them.
And a great response from Glendale, the 22-year-old from Pretoria, Denason, able to even things up, in Glendale a chance to take the lead pending the conversion. Fantastic from the visitors, what they needed to do after conceding just 4 minutes in. The response from the Raptors. I have a feeling we are in store for a fantastic match here this afternoon. Take another look. Denason heads up, quick tap and go. Saw the opening, able to slide past Brower. That's what you want from the man with the number 9, taking advantage of that sliver of space.
That's what he needed. He was 5 meters out, so you could tap and go. Anything within that, you'd have to take it back. And conversion successful from Will McGee. So 7-5 now, the Raptors take the lead. 1 try apiece. And of course, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, both these sides need to score 4 tries to get the bonus point as well. And that's why they're keeping ball in hand. And That's the replay of Will McGee. We've seen it many times for the United States Eagles, and he will represent us at the Rugby World Cup 2019 come Japan later this year.
And Down, as you said, both these teams need the try bonus. It is going to be a high-flying 80 minutes. Of that much we can be sure.
Restart there from Sam Malcolm. Deep. Whitehead pulls off this one. It's Harley Davidson. Davidson in there.
Keep going, keep going.
Fenolio on the short side. Big bruising tackles coming in from the Arrows, and Denason there with Luke White. He's lost this one. Advantage here for Detroit. Gets it away. That ball has gone slightly forward in the breeze from Detroit, but it was just the pressure again in the face. You don't see Luke White spilling the ball ever.
No, that's one thing that Toronto's been fantastic at, that line pressure, getting numbers quickly to the ball. White, a rare knock on. Toronto so fit defensively. They take such pride in what they're able to do, and that's part of the reason they're the hottest team in Major League Rugby.
Actually, Spencer Jones in the last bit there. He's also made 132 tackles, a man that lives in Vancouver. Very creative, hot stepper as well. 2 tries so far in Major League Rugby. So this is a prime opportunity for Aaron Carpenter's side. Director of Rugby, Chris Silverthorne, looks on as well for the Arrows. They're going to reset this. The Arrows had a really interesting start to the season. They lost their first game, and then they came back and won, and they did that 6 times in a row over the first 9 weeks.
Well, you take a look at that schedule. Their first 8 matches all on the road, and part of playing in the Great North is the fact that due to the weather, they had to play their first 8 matches on the road. It was actually a huge advantage for them, and something they freely admitted, because the final 8 matches at home, and they have shown that that is where you want to be. Home field advantage. You see it right there. 5 in a row, all north of the border for the Arrows.
That's the thing. They were able to pick up a couple of wins against, the 2 Texas sides, and then that San Diego win was massive, 27-20 earlier this season. San Diego, they're the only team to have booked their thing. You see the scrum. Domination there. They look to get their backs involved there. Detroit was in there also.
Still playing white penalty advantage.
Still advantage here for the home team. Ball comes to Rob Brower. He's met. And a ball and all tackle, and Mike Shepherd. Debut versus Kenya in Marseille in 2018 for Canada. Nothing coming from there, and coming back to the full-arm penalty.
Going back to that previous scrum, that is what Arrows Rugby is, and that is what they hang their hat on. Dominance from the big boys up front, just knocking Glendale back 3 or 4 meters. What Arrows fans have seen every match this year. Few scrums in Major League Rugby can stand up to the Arrows.
And just getting back to what I was saying about the San Diego side, they're really obviously a team that impressed. They're the only team to have booked their spot in the top 4, but they have lost twice to the Toronto Arrows. The second time was here at Lamport Stadium a few weeks ago, 23 points to 19. That bodes well going to the playoffs. If you've already taken out, the one team that's qualified, things are looking good if they can get to the top 4.
Must stay connected.
So scrum time yet again. The powerhouse up front. Brower, Quatch, and Mitchell going against Noah Barker, Canadian as well. Played the under-20s in 2012, and then debut against Chile, 7 caps in 2018. Fenolio and Fafita, the other Glendale Raptors up front, and they just collapse this one, but the ball's out the back there for Ferguson. He can have Miraz, has a dance on the outside. Oh, so easy. Gaston Miraz. Welcome back to the big show. Try number 2 for the Arrows. Hashtag Arrows up.
As they say in Uruguay, ciao. Miras off to the try line. Adios on that one. Fantastic stuff from the fullback. Just a beautiful run, able to step through 1 tackle, simply not enough, dots it down. And back and forth we go early here in the first 17 minutes.
Well, Miraz has impressed earlier. Lovely line break that he had there, the 29-year-old. 66 caps with 56 starts for Uruguay, 13 tries. He's a player to keep your eye on as well. And I do love that Major League Rugby has players represented from several different countries. And of course, 19 Canadians in this team as well, but then an international flair also.
And that's one thing about Major League Rugby and all the talk about what it does for rugby in the U.S., what it does for rugby in Canada, but not to mention of what it's doing for rugby in South America, not just in Uruguay, well represented here in MLR, but also Chile, Brazil, increased representation as well. The game continues to grow all the way from Tierra del Fuego up to Fairbanks, Alaska.
Sam Malcolm the Kiwi as well. His kick is over. It's a stunning strike. And 12-7 the score right now for the Arrows.
Great stuff from Malcolm, able to bounce back and take another look at Mieres. Gaston Mieres. Outstanding stuff from the Punta del Este native.
That's his 4th try in Major League Rugby as Will McGee looks to restart things. Almost 20 minutes gone. 5-point buffer. Jump catch there, and the Arrows do well to recycle possession. Brower gets involved there as well. Box kick over the top. Davidson's not there, so Murphy Tatamai, the big number 8, goes in to collect. Tatamai from Upper Hutt College. Munro. That's the second knock-on from the lock pairing. So advantage here for Jones as he stabs it through very cleverly. It's the tactic gets worked well for them. The captain ranges up, but the ball rolls into touch as Big Dan Moore approaches.
And going back to that previous knock-on, Monroe, White, usually so sure-handed are the two in the second row, both with a knock-on. Uncharacteristic from Glendale. The handling error is not something you see from the Raptors.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and it's 12-7 the score. The Toronto, the home side, up against the Glendale Raptors at week 18. Stay with us. We'll be back soon.
There'll be a gold line out just off the mark there. Good. Yeah, so twice now your tight head has gone to the floor. Yeah, need to keep him up. And there was a free kick through early doors as well. That side they're both folded, so ball came away.
This afternoon, let's hear you, Arrows fans.
That was a quick 20.
Good. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. All right, same pictures again, fellas.
Current standings on the left of your screen there, you can see it's 5th and 6th place we're looking at. Toronto, Glendale right there, 48 points. So Toronto will shoot up the ladder if they can get a 5-point victory here with a bonus point 4 tries. But Glendale could tie Toronto if it goes the other way around. And that's what was looking very interesting here. It's 12-7 the score, and again, very early stages.
Yeah, the difference is Toronto, well, they hold their fate in their own hands, and that's exactly how they would want it. Glendale, not only do they have to win out, they have to get some help.
Great support here. And today, of course, is Rugby vs. Cancer Day as well, raising funds for the Cancer Society. And unfortunately, we all know somebody affected. And so a wonderful cause here at Lamport Stadium.
Arrows fans join the Arrows in their support of a great cause. Rugby.
Of course, last night, well, the fans here in Toronto went absolutely berserk, short of pushing over cars as their side. The Toronto Raptors won the basketball clash and made history. 100-94, dramatic finish. Penalty this time for the Glendale Raptors, and they can relieve their lines.
Again, indeed, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors of the NBA. First ever finals appearance. Victory last night in the Eastern Conference Finals, taking down the Milwaukee Bucks, and some very happy people there last night. I know for a fact there were some very happy people.
I saw Drake was one of them. He was certainly enjoying it, and just stunning to see. There were so many people out and about last night. I don't know if the teams got much rest. The noise was at least till 5 or 6 in the morning. Well, that's what time you came home, Kit.
You weren't supposed to let that out.
Fenolio to the back. Daly can't contain for feeder, and that wasn't straight either.
Not straight. It has to go right down the middle of the tunnel. Not the case there. So we will have a scrum. Take another look right here. Fenolio, the native, the Denver product. You can see that one angling toward his side. Cannot be the case. Has to go right between the two lines.
Well, that's 4 errors out of 5 set pieces for the Glendale Raptors, and that's the area of real concern for them this season, and that's why they've had a mixed bag. They've done well at home when they've secured those things. They've brought in Noah Barker, but certainly struggling in this game.
Against a team as good as Toronto, you cannot give them those kind of chances. The unforced errors committed.
Andrew Ferguson
It's gone to floor.
wants to get this out and
No.
we'll get another scrum set.
Seeing a bit of frustration from the Raptors. They're dominated, have been dominated thus far in the scrum. We'll do it all over.
So September last year, these sides met in the exhibition fixtures at Lamport Stadium. And Raptors were squashed there 40 points to 18. Now again, that was early season, but just an indication of what this Toronto side can do.
Well, Toronto side, they did a fantastic job. They had to train in a dome in Whitby there in the preseason, and then they were out to Vancouver, out in BC, training with the Canadian national team before the season started. So they took on some top-flight competition.
Right, they beat the Free Jacks as well by 40 points in the Canada Selects. Their match against Rugby United New York was cancelled, of course, due to a little traffic incident there with the Rooney side trying to get out north.
Yeah, okay, set them up there.
No weak seams.
It's such an interesting last 2 weeks remain. And of course, you mentioned the quick turnaround. The Glendale Raptors, they were going to go straight to Texas after this game. 2 days rest, and then they played the Houston SaberCats, who had a really poor performance against Austin. Of course, their pack is so dangerous as well.
They are indeed. And right now, Houston, talk about teams with momentum. The SaberCats certainly have it. This Glendale side just 4 days before they have to go back to it. And that is going to be a tough task down in Texas, where temperatures will surely be above 90 degrees.
I was there yesterday. That 90 felt like 97. And luckily we had some air conditioning. Beautiful Aviva Stadium hosted us. Another marching scrum here from the Arrows. They'll get the ball out. They have advantage. Al-Jabari's there on the tackle. They may want the penalty. That cracker on the line here. It's Moonlight. Trying to get his pass back on the inside to the 31-year-old, but no advantage coming.
Moonlight maybe trying to do a bit too much. Outstanding, and hats off to him. Not only a rugby player, but a firefighter as well. Fantastic sevens player, John Moonlight. This is one of the most complete starting 15s that you've seen from Toronto this year. Players away because of their day jobs and injuries as well.
This is going to sound really weird, but I have a frame photo of Moonlight on my desk. It's actually me tackling Moonlight during the 7 series, but a hell of a competitor. 65 tournaments he played for Canada over the years. His debut was in Hong Kong 2009. 2 Pan Am gold medals as well.
Has a Canadian record in 7s appearances. If I had a picture of me tackling John Moonlight, I'd have that framed on my desk as well.
Actually, I haven't told him, so John, you're welcome. To the back they go. This time overthrown. It wasn't skew though, so it stays with the home side. Looking to bash it up the middle. Try number 3 on offer. Flat balls, they go up. Space here for Quattrin. Deep in enemy territory. The men in white surge forward. Pick and drive. Luke Campbell. Toronto. Just a little spin there from Mitchell. So close.
Advantage offside.
Another advantage. The ball inches ever so close. Trying to dig it up there is Ferguson. He'll take the penalty though. And you could fancy a scrum here.
Yeah, you certainly could. The strength of Toronto, you've already seen what they've been able to do, dominant in the scrum. Certainly anticipate that's what they'll do in this situation. But the men up front, the front row, great carries, making tough meters. We've already seen Quattrin and Mitchell getting involved offensively. There it is, the call for the scrum. I don't think that was ever in question.
If you're the Glendale Raptors, it's tough going right now. You potentially could concede a penalty try and a yellow card. They did that against the Houston SaberCats under immense pressure. That game they came back from 32 points down to beat the men from Houston. But right now, something different. Up by 5, Toronto. 25 minutes gone.
Set.
Morgan Mitchell close to our side here, wearing 3.
9, sideways.
It waves to the side. We hear that peel away with it. Campbell. And now picking and going for the line, Lavas. They're trying to hold him up. He just needs to get the ball down. Good defense, but of course, it's another scrum.
It is indeed, but fantastic work from the Raptors defensively, able to hold up Lavas. All he was trying to do was get down to put that one in the in-goal area, could not. And look at the men in yellow. Everyone trying to keep Lavas up and able to do so. The boys up front are going to have their work cut out for them, as it'll be back to the scrum for Toronto. That front row, Barker, Noglio, Pita, they all knew it was going to be tough going.
It's Toronto's side. Won 5 fixtures, lost 5. Picked up 12 bonus points, the second most bonus points behind the New Orleans side. And that has certainly kept them in the hunt here as we approach the final week of the regular season. Looking to reset this.
That's one thing we've learned this year in Major League Rugby is that not just victories needed, but that try bonus point as well. Everyone for the majority of the season chasing New Orleans because it seemed like every match out, Nola Gold was coming up with that try bonus.
Of course, you get that bonus by scoring 4 tries. And if you don't win the game and you lose within 7 points, you get another bonus point. That's not good enough for either of these sides today on this occasion, though. So Dave Williams and Aaron Carpenter, the 2 coaches under pressure to see if they can push through to the June 8th and 9th semi-finals. Seed 1 will host 4 and 2 will host 3. Then the final on June 16th. Here we go again. It's the men in the engine room that have advantage again. The arrows, the dummy throw, and he could have got himself a short ball there to Giuseppe Detroit, and that ball's on the line. It's over. It's Luke Campbell that gets try number 3 in minute 27, and a sustained pressure at scrum time from the home team.
That has been the ticket. The scrum for the Arrows. That time the number 8, Luke Campbell, comes away with the try. His first of the match extends Toronto's lead to double digits. The Canadian able to dot it down, but credit the forward pack. They continue their dominance. Thought there was an opportunity for Ferguson had he elected to keep it, but it won't matter as Campbell's able to get across and in. Able to submarine underneath the man with that number 8 on his back.
Kick from in front is successful, 19 points to 7. Tremendous start for the Toronto Arrows and their campaign.
And a great response after getting up early. The try for Mitchell just 4 minutes in. Denason came back with one of his own. McGee's conversion gave the Raptors the lead, but ever since the 17th minute, it has been all Toronto.
Sam Malcolm finds his way moving up the ladder. He's now in 3rd place for total points scored this season, behind Brock Stoller and Joe Peterson.
And one thing I must say, that the home support has been fantastic, not just across the league, but certainly here for the Arrows.
Hold in front wide.
It's wonderful to see rugby growing, not only in the United States, but of course here in Canada as Murphy Taramai receives us. DTS gets a quick ball to Will McGee. McGee, the Englishman, caught down there having a cup of tea, so they keep it alive. Good quick hands, and it's Brendan Daly, the hard-working loose forward, as Al-Jaburi feeds Taramai. Big pickup for the Raptors as the number 8. Sending it through to Will Monroe, the 26-year-old from Sydney, Australia. Finally, the Raptors have possession with Cruze drifting across field. Mika Cruze, the youngster, just 20 years of age. 10 years younger than his centre partner, Chad London, the Rhinoceros. As Al-Jaburi goes upfield. I met the Rhinoceros's mom, Mrs. Rhinoceros, as I call her, last week. Chad London's mom, and it's another knock-on. That's 3 errors. Just in open play, and the ball hacked through. And it's the story of the game so far. This one over the try line, and DTS has just got there in time.
DTS able to knock it away. Spencer Jones bearing down, was trying to put that one down in the in-goal area. But again, the miscues, the handling errors, the story of the match thus far. Glendale not doing themselves any favors. A race, and DTS just able to beat Jones to it by a fingernail.
DTS representing New Zealand in basketball and touch rugby. He's got skills aplenty. He was a household name in Romania when he played there for a season. I've never seen a funny talker Kiwi with so much skill. And he has lit up Major League Rugby, but he started trailing by 12 points.
Glendale needs to clean up the errors.
Try scorer Campbell takes it into the contact. Another penalty yet again, this time not rolling away.
Wrong side, and he turned it over. I can't reward you if they're on the wrong side.
Right now, every time the referee, the man Anthony Woodthorpe, blows his whistle, it's against Glendale. Toronto with a 12-point advantage certainly doesn't need any help. Again, plain field position, what you see from the Arrows. trying to play the majority of this match inside that Glendale 22.
It's a tactic that worked really well for them. You can see the linesman flag just blowing in the background. This little breeze we mentioned earlier. Very impressed, though, with Peter Milazzo, the 22-year-old. 160 tackles, 13th in Major League Rugby. Over 50 line-out takes. Goes up to the top, but he takes it now and looking for a short, hard line. They find Detroit, Canadian international. Campbell keeps it tight. The Raptors need to keep them out here if they can. Luke White with a solid shoulder and Morgan Mitchell. But try number 4 and bonus point on offer here as Andrew Quatrin goes near the line. The arrows, the wide ball. Miraz, the back ball to the captain. Dan Moore just into touch.
What a beautiful ball from Miraz. Absolutely fantastic. Able to find Moore, who's unable to stay in. You look at it back here. Miraz, oh, there it is. A thing of beauty, the Uruguayan, this little flip. But not enough room for Moore to skate by and through. Front line, the front row, I should say, for Toronto. Quatrin again. Great carries.
Fenolio is accurate this time. His team just need to exit as Luke White gets called in. Luke White often uses the big battering ram. Oh, there he goes again. Luke White. He's no oil painting, but boy, can he play. A breakout season this year, returns from injury as Taramai. Quick hands from Daly. It's very flat indeed and dangerous as well.
Yes, agreed. Ball was out.
But the Raptors have the skill to match as they go wide to Dylan Taikato Simpson. And now Harley Davidson. Davidson just forced into touch, and that's the suffocating defense we mentioned, not just from the tight forwards, but from the backside wide as well.
I was just about to say, so impressive what the backs are able to do defensively. Obviously, the forwards, they do a great job when that ball is in tight, but the backs able to get wide. There's no space. Glendale, they have such talented backs. They want to get it out wide, let those speedsters get to work, but absolutely no green grass in front of them.
Into the last 7 minutes of the first half. 3 tries to 1 so far. The Toronto Arrows lead. And again, they have another stable platform to attack with. Milazzo was the target last time. Man who played with the Ontario Blues and Canada A as well. He's played the most minutes of any Arrow this season, over 1,000 minutes, and another classic take from him. Detroit, often used as the backline battering ram at the inside center position. Ferguson goes away, and Miraz sniping through. Gaston Miraz for the line! Well, not all tries are created equally, and Gaston Miraz snipes through yet again. That's the bonus point, and the Arrows find themselves in a commanding lead.
The bonus point in the 34th minute, Miraz, his second try of the match, another stunner from the Uruguayan fullback. Brings the home fans to their feet. Ferguson inside, Miraz able to break through. Miraz, no one will catch him. Hasta la vista. Gaston Miraz in for 5.
Well, played in the Rugby World Cup 2015. He has scored 13 tries for his country. 2 today so far for his Major League Rugby side. You need players that have the X factor. And in this competition, they could go far with Miraz at fullback. 24 points to 7. And really, the Glendale Raptors haven't been in this game, and when they've had possession, they've coughed it up.
They have the unforced errors, the handling errors, turnovers, offside, the penalties, numerous by the Raptors, not helping themselves, and Toronto taking full advantage.
Sam Malcolm, Massey University. They were the Manawa 2 Turbos in New Zealand universities. His kick is successful, and the crowd applaud him. And that try from Miraz is 26 points to 7, 5 minutes to go.
Take another look. Ferguson able to find Miraz. The Uruguayan splits right through, able to blow by Denason. Gaston Miraz, I mentioned the combination of he and his countryman Colo Levas. You pair that with Dan Moore on the back line, so talented on the front row, and that is a potent combination.
The home side receive this restart, looking oh so powerful in the first 35 minutes. Forwards keep it tight as they look for the exit strategy.
Now, as you all know, momentum so important, confidence in sports, and no team in Major League Rugby has it like Toronto does.
Taramai. Now see if he can spark something for the visiting team, the Raptors. Murphy Taramai into the contact. The trained electrician says what he can do, and Barker gets the offload away to Munro. They need something creative. Ata Malifa is on the bench as Chad London takes it upfield. Malifa normally sparks their side. Now Denason has a crack himself. Of course, the captain, Sean Davies, watches from the bench. Those are the two changes in the back, so they come wide to Zach Fanolio. Fanolio, known as the Italian stallion. Flat ball to attack with Kalepi Fafida. Play with the Tempe Devils in Arizona back in the day. Rated #1 in the squad in all Xbox games. There's DTS. How's that for a pass? XXY on the Xbox. He just flicks it through the back. No human can normally do that.
Just a knock on in the tackle.
And the only problem was he forgot to hit the turbo after the move. But he take another look. DTS through a beautiful, it's going right back.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Noah.
Yeah, lost forward.
Looking for the spectacular.
+6.
Maybe a bit too much. Right now, time of the essence here in the first half. Glendale knows they need points.
Nice little break there from the fullback. It will be a scrum for the Glendale Raptors, an area they have struggled during the season and this game. So they need a quick ball. You saw Taramai just quickly dig it out on the last occasion. Options left and right for the men in yellow.
Crouch.
DTS, one of 4 foreign-born players in the
5.
Raptor side. The Arrows have 4 as well.
Set.
We mentioned 19 local Canadian players.
And that's a real advantage that Toronto has. So many have come through the provincial championships, so many through that Ontario Blue system, and they have that consistency. They have guys that have played together for a decade. Few teams in Major League Rugby have that.
No, you're certainly right. In fact, the only other side probably would be the Glendale Raptors because they've been around that long, but every other franchise, very new, 1 to 2 years old. We have 3 more being added next year. Atlanta, MLR, Washington, D.C., and the Boston Free Jacks. So it'll make for an exciting competition, of course. This one, well, 6 teams still in it in the last week, and you couldn't have asked for a better finish.
All you can ask for the final 2 weeks, they're going to be something else.
There it is, Taramai. Looked like inbound early there, but they keep it alive. Chad London, the Rhinoceros, breaks through the first tackle. They're inside the 22. The Raptor attack needs to be accurate. Brendan Daly drops the shoulder, one of the hardest working forwards you'll see. And well, I'm not going to say anything else.
I don't think anything else needs to be said, unfortunately, for Glendale. It just continues.
Lost forward, white scrum.
Penalties early, 3 through the first 3 minutes, and that is not something they've cleaned up here the final few minutes of the half. Glendale looking into that in-goal area just meters away. Another handling error. At this point, you would assume Toronto would be happy to hear that halftime whistle blow and go to the sheds with this 26-7 lead.
That's right, 2 Mira's tries, 1 by Mitchell, 1 by Campbell. And just Carlo Denason, the only Raptor to cross the line. So scrum off Andrew Ferguson, 26-year-old. Local man, 4 tries this season for the halfback. His pairing with Sam Malcolm has been very important for the attack.
Time is off. Time is off. Okay,
what a job that halfback pairing.
We must both sides.
Ferguson
We must
as
bring
the
our feet
general.
up. Okay, we must scrummage on the mark.
Malcolm's so good with the boot.
Let's go.
Together. Absolutely fantastic, 9 and 10.
So the Arrows, they will face Rugby United New York June 2nd here at Lamport Stadium. And of course, that clash, if they win today with the 4 tries, they win today, that clash is going to be very tasty. And you'll be on that call.
I'm excited. I'm excited for today and for these final week or so of the season, all to play for.
Set.
So last moment of the first half, 26 points to 7. Toronto have silenced the Glendale Raptors so far, but a big 40 remain after this. They have to go to the open side and just put this one downfield. And our referee says that is half time. 4 tries to 1 so far in the first 40. And we're going to take a short break and come back with more analysis from Lamport Stadium, where Toronto lead Glendale by 26 points to 7 here in Canada.
Griffins Rugby, particularly Randy Warrington and the center Dufferin Royals. Also a special welcome this afternoon. Welcome to Canada, David, and welcome home, Allison Jones.
Scrum time. It's a good setup at first. Then when they get the nudge, angles from your props. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Especially in tight head, you can stay square. Please, thank you.
And now please welcome to the field. We have a youth exhibition scheduled from City Rugby. Welcome City Rugby to Toronto Arrows. Rugby today, and Arrows fans, look for the Rugby versus Cancer volunteers. Make a donation. 100% of the proceeds today go to Rugby versus Cancer. Fans, how about a warm Toronto Arrows welcome to City Rugby. Welcome to Lamport Stadium.
It's the Toronto Arrows that have scored 4 first-half tries to lead the Glendale Raptors 26-7 at the break. And we're going to hear now from one of the Toronto players, Jamie McKenzie, who is sidelined with Sam McDade.
Thank you so much, Dallin. Like you said, alongside Jamie McKenzie, scrum half for the Toronto Arrows. Jamie, a 5-game winning streak in this playoff push for the Toronto Arrows. Firstly, that's so important going in. But as you go into playoffs, 2 more wins makes you secure and in a playoff position. What is the key? What keys of your guys' team play do you guys need to carry on into those 2 games to get the job done?
Yeah, like you said, we've been building up a lot of momentum over the last 5 games. We're looking to continue that going forward. For us, we know we're in control of our own destiny, so we just got to look after the things that we need to look after. Obviously, we're doing our video review on the other teams. We're cognizant of what they're up to, what they're offering, but we're really focusing on what we're bringing to the table. And right now, it's a lot of offensive power, great defensive stands, and the boys have just been putting in so much work. It's been awesome.
Jamie, you talked a little bit about offensive power, talking about the video. Is that something that you guys really spoke to before this game, ahead of it, coming out strong in the first half? Because that's certainly what the Arrows did today.
Yeah, it was even evident in a play right there. Gaston Mears, one of our awesome Uruguayan players, went in pretty much untouched, and that's a set-piece move. That's the stuff that we put hours into the field, or onto the practice field, and when it shows up in a game, it's awesome to see that. It just takes an awful lot of pressure, which is great.
As we know, the Glendale Raptors are in 6th place, the Arrows in 5th, so we know they are a strong team and a competitor here on the field today. What are the keys to limiting their offense now in the second half for your team?
Yeah, defense has been a big focus for us. We kind of started the year off a little bit slow, and it's gotten a lot better, so we know where we're at with regard to that. Guys making their one-up tackles, just basically limiting our errors on defense in terms of our systems, and that's something we've done really well at. And as you can see, they scored 1 try, but we're looking pretty good here.
Jamie, it is Rugby versus Cancer today here at Lamport Stadium. How important is it to embrace this theme and have games like this? How special is it to take part in it?
Actually, it's funny that I'm doing the interview today on a day like this. My grandpa was actually diagnosed a few years ago, so it hits home a little bit harder for me. But having a day like this, seeing the support, and for a cause like this it's amazing. You can't ask for anything better, really.
Jamie, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much for speaking on that as well.
Thank you very much.
We'll send it back to you, Dallin.
Thanks, Sam. Time for another short break, and we'll return with more here from Lamport Stadium, where Toronto lead Glendale at the half by 26 points to 7. Today's match is brought to you by Cosmos, the Globe and Mail, and Honda. A thrilling weekend, and look at this. 24-22, New York have just defeated NOLA Gold, and the plot thickens. And it certainly does at home as well here at Lamport Stadium, and looking to stay 6 in a row here. It's Toronto up 26-7 against the Glendale Raptors. Second half up next.
Fans, one more time, let's hear it for Toronto City Rugby. Once again, thank you to Toronto City Rugby for visiting taking in the Toronto Arrows game this afternoon.
And welcome back. It's week 18 of 19 weeks in Major League Rugby, and the home side, the Toronto Arrows, up 26-7 against the Glendale Raptors. And Kit, well, it's really been tough for the visiting Raptors side, but again, all credit to the Arrows.
Indeed, all credit to the Arrows. Glendale, too many unforced errors, handling errors, offside, things they have to clean up. They're going to have to play from behind in the second half to have any shot at making the playoffs. Take a look at those first half highlights. Toronto got things started 4 minutes in. Morgan Mitchell, the bowling ball across for the try. Mitchell has been outstanding all season long. And then the quick tap and go. Denason able to come up with one and the conversion. Try and the conversion made it 7-5 for Glendale. But then it was all Toronto. Gaston Mires, 17 minutes. A brilliant try from the Uruguayan. His first of two in the first half. Campbell would find one as well. Great work. Campbell able to get just across the number 8 Submarini down and in. That made it 19-7, and one more from Mires to extend it. 4 tries, the try bonus, and this a thing of beauty from Gaston Mires off to the races, right through. No one able to stop him. The conversion up and through, 26-7. Toronto in front.
In front and looking sharp, looking to get a 6-game win streak here at home at Lamport Stadium. And there is Gaston Mires. Well, he's certainly an experienced campaigner. The Uruguayan international is played at home, and then Valpolicella in Italy, Coventry in England, and now finds himself at home here in Toronto. 40 minutes separates these two teams. An all-important season on the line. The Glendale Raptors, well, Dave Williams, he would have had stern words with his troops, barking orders, the former USA international, and Will McGee, a lot rests on his shoulders to see if he can spark his backline.
And that's exactly what Glendale needs, a spark. Something has to go their way. So far, Mira is outstanding. He's been the difference maker. Along with the scrum, we knew that was going to be a huge advantage for Toronto, and the Arrows have made it just that.
Second half underway from left to right. The Glendale Raptors in yellow, the home side to receive this. Good catch there from Levas with Toronto in white, up 26 points to 7. 4 tries already in the bank as they have Morgan Mitchell, 25-year-old.
It's been taken back.
Usually put it onto the right boot there of Detroit. Nice kick towards the halfway line.
Yeah, Toronto's been very smart playing field position, not getting caught in their own 22. Right. They have the boots to be able to switch the field as they do right here.
See a couple of replacement players. Patrick Lynott on the field wearing 17 for Toronto, and Blake Rogers, he's there, he's the mullet there in yellow. And he's asked some of his teammates who their favorite player is, and Blake Rogers comes up top. They said he's just a funny man all around, and not just because he looks like he's funny.
So 2 front rowers coming in for each side.
Backwards.
Knocked down towards the Arrows side. They've kept it alive though. But it is the player Lynott that gets an early touch. Ducking down low, and good drive with leg momentum there from Quatrin, the 22-year-old. So impressive. Man from Holland landing in Ontario as Moore gives chase. Good take there from Ryberg. We haven't seen much of Johnny Ryberg in this game. Muscles hasn't had open space really, or the ball to do much with, as Murphy Tatamai gets upended. Good tackle there from Peter Milazzo. There's Rogers, and they stop him. They go back to the short side. Daly with DTS. He can't create any magic from that left-hand touchline. And the wall, the white wall from up north assembles. Barker flicks it away as Chad London and Luke White go in a gap together. That gap became very small very quickly. They turn it to the back to Cruze. Steps to the first one, but again, another strong tackle coming in there from Detroit. Raptors, though, keep the ball alive. They were doing much better until that pass went to nobody, and then Luke White picked it up. Good pick up there from the number 5. Second most carries in Major League Rugby with 158 as Fenolio sets off on a run just outside the 22. Better stuff from the Glendale team. Tatamai. He's thrown down to the deck there by John Moonlight. Second occasion yet again. This time a better carry there from Rogers. His father's a farmer. As they go in, McGee, little gap, and tackled there by Ferguson.
Thank you.
Munro with his Aussie teammate, Luke White. Something special needed here, and that's DTS. The jump step gets through the first one. But of course, once you beat one Arrow player, there's another one left, and here it comes to Harley Davidson. Davidson's ducks down there. Denason, good flat ball to Rogers on the front foot. Here they march on. Good ball. London goes wide. Daly in support. Ball over the top to Ryberg.
Still backwards.
They keep it alive with the Rhinoceros. Around the 22-meter mark. 3 solid minutes of possession for Luke White and his side. Denason goes back to the short side. Knocked back again from Tatamai to Brendan Daly. A long sequence of players. Muscles Ryberg gets involved. Eager to get his name back on the score sheet.
Advantage, not rolling away.
Finally a penalty advantage for McGee. Beautiful ball. Will Munro in open space. Luke White comes in to clear out. McGee puts a stab through for himself. Will McGee, has he got this down? It would be genius if he did. We'll have a look. What are your initial thoughts?
Oh, McGee looking for something beautiful. A thing
no try.
Of
lost forward, penalty.
Oh, you heard it right there. But McGee, what a play right there. Beautiful kick through to himself. Take another look. We'll see if he's able to get to it. Oh, it looked to me that he was. We'll see.
Yes.
He may have pulled the ball with him, though, as he rolled forward, so maybe that's the call.
I think that's what our referee, Anthony Woodthorpe, saw. That's exactly what it was, that he did pull the ball. But a great start to the second half from Glendale. Full 4 minutes of possession, going through the phases, keeping ball in hand. This is what the Raptors need to get back into this.
We knew it to be an intriguing matchup. The Raptor attack versus the Toronto defense. And no line breaks on that occasion, really. There was a bit of a half gap there for Will Munro, but besides that, they had to put it to the boot to get past.
They did. That's the only way they're able to get through that white wall, as you mentioned, and give a ton of credit to Luke Campbell. It looks like the Raptors are going to turn it over, and they would have had Campbell not been able to get back on top of it.
Fenolio, 17 times capped with the US Eagles, played in Rugby World Cup 2015. Goes beautifully to Daly. Another advantage as Luke White then peel away. Fenolio tries to go through the top. Watching all over this one.
Play penalty advantage.
Penalty advantage there for Rogers as they try to hammer it for the line.
Still playing penalty advantage.
Mailon Al-Jaburi. So close. Daly just needs to hit that post, but he's short of the line, says our referee. Good clear communication. White ball, it's on here. Cruze is over. Mika Cruze finally gets the pressure, and it's down on the ground for try number 2 for the Raptors.
Mika Kruse comes away with the 5, much needed, and a fantastic start to the second half for the Raptors. Keeping possession, patience, the only way to put it. And finally, Kruse, nice little dummy, able to get across. Jones unable to bring him down. Exactly what you wanted to see from Glendale. Admirable defending from the white wall, but ultimately just couldn't keep it up for 5 minutes.
Kruse, an accomplished piano and ukulele player. Played football, rugby, and ran track at high school. He's only 2 years out of school, in fact, playing here and carving in Major League Rugby. 26-12, his kick to be
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Converted from the side, an attempt here from Will McGee. And Will McGee been on the bench the last couple of games for Atta Malifa, and the 33-year-old sneaky Malifa, as he's known, all around the globe. Really attacks the line. I think that's what Coach Dave Williams sees in Malifa. Now McGee certainly has all the skills, does this young fly off. And his kick, looking to curl in. No, it stays to the side. 26-12, 47 minutes gone.
Unable to add 2, couldn't complete the conversion, but a fantastic start to the second half from Glendale. What they needed gives them a boost in confidence. Most impressive, how patient they were. No handling errors, no mistakes. It was Toronto who committed the penalty, and the advantage taken by Glendale.
Sam Malcolm, 157 tackles before this game started. Played in the Shoot Shield with the West Harbour Pirates in New Zealand. Restarts.
Take him back! Oh, sorry.
McGee goes downtown. Straight down the middle, though. So Mirez gets a chance to throw it downfield. And here they go, back inside. Good tackle from Al Jaburi, though. Stops the forward momentum.
Ball's available.
Arrows with Rawa. He holds the record for Canada's oldest debutant at 33 years young and 72 days. Levas, oh, that pass just out in front. Unusual error coming in.
It was indeed. Moonlight just unable to find his target. So far the second half, the opposite of what we saw in the first. Errors being committed by Toronto, and clean play possession for Glendale.
The Raptors taking time to get to the line out. They've got a few forwards lurking out wide. One of them's Luke White.
Closing the gap.
And they get
7, closing the gap.
a free kick. Donason takes it himself. Carlo Donason. A little gap for the halfback.
Yes, agreed.
Now London finally picks it up, and Rogers is there. He gets put back. There's Blake Rogers, the Catan champion for the Raptors. Oh, that's a very tricky ball to take for Ryberg.
Yep. And Muscles trying to reach back, able to get a hand to it, but nothing more.
So you have a scrum or a line out?
The decision to Toronto. Well, no decision at all if you're Toronto, if you're going to take the scrum or the line out, and obviously it will be scrum. The Arrows dominant in the set piece in the first half. It looks to continue so early here in the second. This is what Toronto needs. Just slow things down a bit, take a breath, settle after conceding the early try of the second half.
We've seen them dominate up front.
Crouch.
Look to continue their ways there.
Bind.
94%
Set.
scrum percentage win rate for the Toronto Arrows.
Advantage.
Just folding in on the side there, the Glendale Raptors, so they have advantage to the Arrows yet again. And that one's been knocked down as well, so it's danger times, but it's picked it up there by Moore, and he can't get the offload back on the inside cleanly away.
Advantage.
Moore, who hasn't had many touches in this one, looking for Detroit. That's one thing that Raptors have been able to do. They've shut down the captain thus far.
Just have
Detroit pass just a bit low and inside for him to collect it.
Well, both number 14s, in fact, Ryberg very quiet as well, hasn't had much position, and when he finally gets it, there are 3 defenders on him. So, troubling times in that department, of course. Can't get their wingers away. Still,
right on the line.
Toronto march forward with that penalty, and now they have a line up.
And the difference for Toronto is that Levas and Miras have been able to get involved. DTS and Davidson not nearly as much.
Yes, agreed.
So Arrows up again. Short liner for them this time as well.
Fellas, you're on the line, which you were.
They're
Create
told
your
to
own
keep
space.
that meter gap
Give yourself space.
as their coach Aaron
Yeah, stay on
Carpenter
the line,
looks
Nate.
on.
You talk about luxuries, having Aaron Carpenter and your coaching staff, most capped Canadian ever.
Be on 15.
Guarding his side. Want to get to those top 4 positions to Twa. Good carry from him. Ball is still available. They go back to the forward pack and Miras is there. Quattrin. Well handled there by Ryberg. Shepherd ducks down with that beard. Leads the Arrows in carries with 127 before this game started. Good hands. And then finally, Cruze shuts down Spencer Jones. And to help out there is Malazzo. And now they go through Campbell. The Arrows putting the phases together and getting the width as well. Shepherd, second time. Back inside, beautiful ball. Leivas. Leandro Leivas looking for his 4th try in Major League Rugby as the backs whip it away. Big strong contact coming down on Malazzo as he puts a foot into touch. They really did stretch the field there, did the Arrows.
Good work going to the top side, coming back to the bottom into Malazzo. Just couldn't stay in, and you saw the foot there on the touch line. Shepherd is always getting involved, and just a paramount of consistency. 6 of the last 7 weeks, he's been in the first 15 for Major League Rugby. Colo Leva spins away, ping-ponging through the defense of the Raptors.
You need a change?
So the visitors have the line out. Zach Fernando needs to be accurate.
And a change being made up front as Morgan Mitchell comes off at tight head, giving way to Cole Keith for Toronto.
Cole Keith, nicknamed the Beast from the East. Just wait until he takes on Eric Duchel from the West. That battle will continue. Season 8 goes down here. Good take and catch there from Leivas, and Miras is with him. Gaston Miras got 2 already. The no look back on the inside. It's still okay because the fireman's there looking to ignite the attack, and beautiful ball there to Shepherd. Upfield go the Arrows. Ferguson digs this one away. He's got his big number 8 with him.
Advantage.
Campbell. They have advantage again to the men in white.
Penalty advantage.
Moonlight yet again wasn't held. The former child star trying to break free there was de Trois. Still the same way they work. Spencer Jones again. Yeah, Moonlight, there he is again. Did a lot of acting when he was a young kid, went to Hollywood, and then joined the local rugby side. And as his acting career fell away, he just became better and better at this game. Well, what a breakout! Sniping little stuff. It's Andrew David Copperfield Ferguson.
The Raptors thought they had Ferguson by the shoelaces. Toronto scrum half able to sneak through somehow. Eluded not 1, not 2, but 3. Ferguson again through 1 tackle, and just London had him by the leg. You see it again, just went all the way down. Ferguson somehow squirts through and across.
Can I grab some of that, please? Thank you.
Well, just the width they're able to generate on attack. They've got X-factor players on either side. Miras is certainly one of them. And then Ferguson, when the time arose, he took the gap. And the 26-year-old adds try number 5.
And Dallin, just as we saw in the first half, when Toronto concedes, they come right back to answer. And if you're an Arrows fan, exactly what you wanted after the first 5 minutes of the second half, dominated by the Raptors.
Do the basics well, scrum, line out, put your team on the front foot, and of course defensively they've been outstanding. It's a long season, double the length from last year. And the flags go up yet again. 33 points to 12. And the Arrows are sailing here at Lamport Stadium.
As they say, arrows up, and absolutely has been the case for Toronto. Do the little things correct, but the defense is really what's led them. You heard Andrew McKenzie at halftime speaking to Sam McDade. That was an issue early in the season when they were exchanging wins and losses. They cleaned that up just as they came home for this final 8 games, and that has really been the key to their success.
Campbell takes the restart.
Take him back.
So taking it back in, so to keep it in field. This one comes down to Dylan Takata-Simpson. Fires it away quickly. And now Cruze. Finally Johnny Ryberg brought into the fray. Ryberg, 5 players with him to the 22. Sean Davies on the field. Normally the captain on the side. Still McGee, the other halfback in the 10 jumper. Rogers, oh, big bump there from Blake Rogers. No parking zone. Quick crisp service as they go with DTS. And now Harley Davidson into Detroit. This is how the Raptors scored here in the second half. Noah Barker, big tackle on the Canadian, up against 19 of his fellow countrymen. Still available there for the visitors. In yellow, onto the field there too is Cody O'Neill. And from Oregon State University, flat border Luke White charges over the halfway line as his fiance looks on. Allison, his parents are here as well, Mark and Liz. There it is, slow ball though. London just looked up. They get the penalty because they've left their feet, have the arrows. In fact, there was Cole Keith.
Keith making a mistake there. Unfortunate for Raptors. They retain possession and a chance to improve their field position.
Certainly not over yet. We mentioned 32-point deficit that Glendale have come back from, and so something fairly similar right now.
You see, leaving the feet there. Cole Keith commits the penalty. But you're exactly right. This Glendale team, anyone who's been able to come back, they have. And time of the essence, just 22 minutes remaining, so they will have to move quickly as Quattrin comes off. Another change on the front row. Stephen Ing, who's come in all season long, now at hooker for Toronto.
Oh, it's messy, and it's Ing that comes away with this one, the 21-year-old from Ottawa. So the Arrows have a chance here to work it upfield and kick out of their territory. They do just that through Sam Malcolm.
You've seen that the entire match. Anytime Toronto feels threatened deep in their own end, they will put it to the boot of Malcolm.
Gone quickly, DTS with a jump step. Fenolio quick thinking and hands there from Cruze. And that one's drifted forward because Ryberg was ready to light it up.
And again, quickly there defensively from that white wall. You've seen it all match long, all season long for Toronto, specifically here at home. And more, the captain, who else leads by example in the pass forward, if not Ryberg. He was looking for that end goal area.
We've seen some throw it more forward than that, and they don't get away with it on this occasion. Those small things really do cost you in a big game. Approaching the 16-minute mark. Connor Cook on the field too. He replaces big Luke White, who's had a heck of a season.
Numerous changes being made by the Raptors, trying to get fresh legs in for this final push. 20 minutes remaining, and they need as many points.
Let's go again.
Just a quick story, Harley Davidson met his father last week. His father, Richard, well, he had almost life-threatening severe pneumonia, which went untreated. And finally, his community and friends have rallied around him. And he recently moved back to Glendale, Colorado to be with his son. And I think that's remarkable. And Harley Davidson, just one of the young stand-up players. It's what you want in a league like this. Young players coming through and getting mentored by the older veterans just to elevate their game.
That's a great story.
This is the updated standings right now. That's from the win by New York. Elevated themselves into second. 53 points, tied with NOLA after they beat them 24-22 today. And of course, this game here should be 5 points for the Toronto Arrows if they can keep this up. Unless the Raptors have something to say in the last 20 minutes, and then they'll tie the Arrows on the standings. Beautiful interchange there, and Shepherd is the one that gets through, and they come back for the penalty.
back here.
And Downey mentioned that veteran leadership, the mentoring. That's so important, especially for these young players. And Toronto has it. Guys like Brower and Shepherd especially leading by example.
Time off. Captain.
Arrows fans want to own one of these special edition jerseys.
Of course, you've got John Moonlight as well. He's taking part of the latter part of the season.
Okay, yes, time's off for water break. It'll be a penalty.
Looks like we're going to take another short break, and it's the Toronto Arrows up here at Lamport Stadium in Canada by 33 points to 12 against the visiting Glendale Raptors.
Initially, you were at first, and then it folded it. Okay. Yes, I saw the hook.
Make some noise, Arrow fans. Arrows up.
That was another strong penalty. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, tactical. Tactical over. Yeah. So, my next question is, has Glendale got a person who can come on to play tight head?
I think they've already used their sub.
So, yeah, they're both
injured. I'll check.
Please check. Let me know.
And the picture is looking good for the home team. 5 tries to 1. The Toronto Arrows lead Glendale. 20 minutes to go, though. What do we have in store from us, from Dave Williams' troops? Their season hangs in the balance, and the fans have certainly come out in their thousands to celebrate rugby here, just north of the border.
And Toronto fans up late last night celebrating, hoping to have something else to celebrate today. So far off to a very good start, just 20 minutes remaining in this one, and Toronto's been able to answer everything Glendale's thrown at them. Glendale, a tough loss last week. They had to get the victory over Seattle. They were unable to do so. And the narrow opportunity to make the playoffs getting even smaller.
And of course, rugby in Canada is thriving. The United States
You were on the line.
played Canada in the quarterfinals of the London Sevens in the men's division.
No, you're outside.
With the US qualifying for the Olympics, it's good sign for Canada. A much easier qualification process ahead of Tokyo.
It is indeed. And if you talk to both these federations, both these teams, one thing they agree on: if the U.S. gets better, Canada gets better, and vice versa.
They're on the line. Give yourself some space. On the line.
Arrows, strong line-out chance here for them. Big leap there from Chaluni. Forward the back there for Stephen Egg. Still range forward, and Marcello Wainwright on the field wearing 20.
Advantage, 17 entry.
Another advantage. And here they go. Ball through the back. Little kick through. There's space. Scooped up there by Harley Davidson. It won't matter, though. It'll be another chance for the Arrows.
Well, they knew they had advantage, able to take that optimistic opportunity. Davidson first to it. That's the situation in the Arrows. Not normally something they would do, but why not? Malcolm so deft with the boot. It was a good touch. Davidson just able to beat Jones to it.
Mentioned the replacements coming on. A good time for Coach Aaron Carpenter to get his charges on. Saw Pat Parfrey wearing 22 on the field there, as well as Marcello Wainwright. He's in 20. They're missing Lucas Grumble, the Canadian international. And Glendale, of course, without a couple of players as well. Hanko Chamases, the Terminator, you call him the Hammer.
And man with 1,000 nicknames.
That's right. Robbie Petzer as well. He's taken a head clash, so he's out recently.
I think Hanko has as many nicknames for as many tries as he's scored.
He is certainly an absolute weapon for the Raptors, and they're missing him for most part of the season. As we get into the last 20 minutes of this clash, I mentioned the quick turnaround the Glendale Raptors have, and Toronto have a week before they take on Rugby United New York, who are high after beating NOLA today.
And for Toronto, the bye week, after playing 8 matches in 3 days, the bye week off last week could not have come at a better time. They have fresh legs for this final 2-week push, and you're seeing them today, the fresher side as we get into the latter stages of this match.
4 of their losses have been within 5 points. They lost to NOLA 36-31, Seawolves 35-30, 24-21 to New York, and then 35-31 again to NOLA Gold. Their only big loss was to the Raptors when they played them away in those snowy conditions.
That match to NOLA Gold here in Ontario. That was a tough match, a match that Toronto thought they should have won. Gold scored at the final whistle to take the victory, and that has really spurred this 5-match winning streak for the Arrows.
Hold.
Inside the 22, set piece.
9 in stationary.
Wainwright has it at the back, and here they go, the captain Moore, Dan Moore. Looping around now as they surge. Rugby Pole's just in front. Moonlight gets the flick pass away. Good support there from Cole Keith. Wainwright in there again as well, the local man. Wide ball.
No, it's regathered.
Good defensive effort so far, but here they pick and drive to the line.
Lost forward there.
And just losing it.
Offside.
Now, offside is the call, so they go back and Glendale under the puck.
Ing there. He's scored a few tries this season, including a game winner.
So,
thought he had it, but knocked forward.
Okay. And then the backs were offside when the ball came out. Okay, now we're on the warning. Yes.
You heard the explanation there and the warning. I've not seen a yellow thus far. Glendale's going to have to be careful that they don't go down a man.
It's been tough going with 15 players, and now they have the scrum, of course, pack it up. And you mentioned the front row there. The reserves on 16, 17, and 18 up front. Good experience as well for all these substitutes.
That's one thing for Toronto, even with the substitutes on the front row. Not a huge drop-off. As talented as those guys are, talking about Ing, Lynott, and Keith, very impressive. A lot of times that's not the case for Toronto. Just a world of experience and talent on the front row.
Kanan Lloyd on the field there wearing 23 as well. 3 tries to his name so far this season. So let's see what Glendale can do here. They have Blake Rogers in the front row. One of the most penalised players in the league. And of course, that's because it's scrum time. Sometimes he gets pinged. Might not be his fault. That time, breaks free for Wainwright. Still short. Toronto Arrows with their forwards.
Short.
Moonlight. Just shy of the line and reaching over. It's another score. It's number 6. And it's a forwards effort indeed. Well deserved.
Arrows able to add to it. Tom Van Horn, one of the twin Van Horn brothers who came on as a substitute. The second rower with the 5. That may well do it. With less than 15 minutes remaining. The conversion, that would make it 40-12, but no let up from Toronto. They continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal.
Thank you.
Well, they kept it tight. They worked the close angles. This is the last little look at it. Big Tom Van Horn was on the spot. Moonlight had the initial lunge. And the 28-year-old gets over for his side. He's absolutely delighted as they aim to finish strong and get into the postseason. Successful conversion from Malcolm does push up the ticker there on the scoreboard, 40-12.
40-12, just 13 minutes remaining in the match. Toronto, they conceded an early try. Glendale, they led 7-5, the only time they led in the entire match. Toronto on a tear at the end of the first half, and on one here in the second as well.
Onto the field now is Atta Malifa for the Raptors. He goes deep with a restart. It's been touched though by Wainwright, but he's got to play it. Stutter step and Connor Cook tackles him. Davidson in to help out as well, as they set it away from Riley Donato on the field wearing 21. All the substitutes used for the Arrows. Good pressure, and it'll be a line-out for the Raptors.
And again, anytime pressure coming deep in Toronto's end, when they're in the shadow of their own post, putting boot to ball, relieving the pressure. And right now, it's a time game for the Arrows, taking precious seconds off the clock. They have the lead. Slow things down, and they forced the Raptors to play their game. To credit Toronto, they've been able to do that much of this season, certainly here in the homestand.
Chad Goff to throw, the youngest of 6 brothers and 1 sister. Goes to the tail of the line out. Daly does well, and they get them all set as Goff loops around. Goff's father played football at BYU. Comes from a good sporting family as Sean Davies fires them around the fringes. Al-Jaburi loops around, gets them back on the front foot. Nice wide possession for Chad London, the Rhinoceros. Although he gets cut down. Noah Barker still on the field. Wriggles through from Tom Horn's tackle. Malifa. Oh, we knew the dummy's coming. Gets the offload to Goff.
Tackle!
That's what they need, a little bit of a spark injection to get behind the defenders as Murphy Tatamai soldiers forward. Again, the width. Malifa turns it back in. This time, Goff gets smashed to the ground. Malifa goes to Daly. Rybig is there.
Take the floor.
Spencer Jones involved there too, and Moore was set and then unplayable, so turned it over. And again, it's the hallmark defense from the home team.
Defense standing strong. You'll point to the try scorers. Guys like Mieres, Mitchell, Campbell, what they've been able to do, but it's the defense. And if Toronto gets into the playoffs and has a chance to win a Major League Rugby title, it's going to be behind that defense.
And really an 8-game home stretch has really cemented their chances. Coming onto the field there, we mentioned Riley Donato played with the Saracen side, the Toronto Saracens, the Toronto Scottish, the Ontario Blues. From Saudi Arabia, the 23-year-old. Now, of course, lives locally here.
Crouch.
Talking about that international flair, plays from all over the globe.
Set.
Into the last 10 minutes we go, 40-12. It's a massive score for the Arrows.
8 stationary.
Donato looking to set up the first phase, a hard running Giuseppe Trois. Played rugby at the University of Victoria. As this kick goes downfield, Johnny Ryberg on Moore. Oh, Ned Stark just left away there as Ryberg then rumbles into the forwards. Ing was there to help out. Now Connor Cook,
Stay low, stay low, stay.
former surfer, to Malifa behind the back ball. They go deep to London. Dylan Takata Simpson can't step his way through Lloyd. Good width from Rogers, and there's the error. And just waiting for it.
Advantage over.
Were the Arrows as they hack it downfield from Malcolm.
A beautiful kick from Malcolm.
Ryberg all by himself.
Outside.
We've barely ever seen Ryberg have to kick the ball, and there was no other yellow jerseys with him, so forced to put it to the toe.
And credit Toronto, they've been able to take Johnny Muscles Ryberg out of this match. He has had no opportunities. He had 13 carries, 200 meters last week in the loss to Seattle. And I would hesitate to say he has 50 meters here today.
You're 100% right, and that's really, they've done their homework into this game.
Let's go Arrows.
And let's go Arrows chanting in the background. It's certainly been an entertaining few weeks here at home, and we're certainly not over yet as we welcome Rugby United New York on June 2nd. York Alumni Field and this Lamport Stadium have hosted the games between the two.
Some more.
More set here for the Arrows as they drive it forward.
Advantage.
And it's Cody O'Neill that comes in from the side that is offside, and Dan Moore looking to range up there. No, he leads the backs with 116 carries before this game. Hasn't seen a lot of action as Malcolm takes it back into the traffic.
No advantage. 18.
Well, you mentioned whether it's been at York Alumni Field or here at Lamport, the fan support has been incredible for Toronto. They had to wait 8 matches for their first ever home match, but the fans have been rewarded with some outstanding rugby. They're looking for a few more matches this season, a chance to hoist that 70-pound shield.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty heavy. It's They had to have Eric Duchel carry it home. No one else in the team could carry it. Rumour has it. So downfield they go yet again. Of course, this Glendale side, they've fought bravely. They've tried to take it wide to the channels and not able to break free.
Thank you, fella.
And right now it's too big a mountain to climb.
And you look at the first half, all the miscues early on, the errors, handling, offsides, really gave Toronto the opportunity. Toronto did themselves a huge favor with the 4 tries in the first half, taking some pressure off of their shoulders.
They really did. Here they go again with Ing. Canada under 20.
Sim 5, line out over. Big transfer, use it!
So now they've been told to use it. There's
He's onto the ball, this is legal.
great tactics here from the Glendale Raptors. Nobody contested that. So they were able to come in from the side because there's no advantage, no offside line, and they forced a turnover. And we'll see that later in an episode of Dallin Explains.
Everyone's favorite show.
I asked you to use the ball. Held up.
And that's good refereeing as well from Anthony with Thorpe. Just communicating to the players, telling them what to do.
He's done a good job, as have all the referees here in Major League Rugby. They keep the pace of play up, and that's what makes it so fan-friendly. And the fans that are new to rugby, they come out and they say it's so fast-paced, there are no stops. So it brings in new fans, and as I always say, if you get a one rugby match, you'll be back.
Absolutely love it. Looking forward to year 3, Major League Rugby coming up. 12 teams.
An Eastern Conference and a Western Conference, as it should be.
Find the space, fellas, okay?
Looking to cut down a little bit of the travel.
New front rows, please find the space.
We have Rugby World Cup 2019 coming up as well.
Who's your pick?
Well, first I like to take one step at a time. Pool stages are very important for the US and Canadian sides. Very important to pick up wins if they can.
Indeed.
And then, of course, we'll see what the knockout stages look to be like. A lot of my Kiwi friends, of course, have bragging rights in the last few years as Kiwi Tatamai picks it up, and that's Ryber getting involved. Need a bit more of that earlier in the game. As Cody O'Neill, the Thai boxer, takes it up, and Malifa with a dummy. You knew it was coming. He flicks it back in field beautifully. Max Lummon support. He's off the bench as Malifa goes yet again. Chad London with DTS.
23! Thank you. Good.
Al Jaburi. 7th and 15 start as the Raptors try to take it wide again. Atta Malifa spins it and good contact, point coming in. Not Houghton able to go a few steps forward.
Yes, advantage. Standing up on the line.
Rogers turns it back. And Taramai in midfield. No, just thrown it to nobody though.
You've stood up on the wrong side. I understand, but you stood up. You must roll. You must roll to the sides.
Yeah, that's how I knew. That time Cole Keith must roll away. Did not.
On the wrong side, that's the side.
Advantage for Glendale, and fortunately the case. That last pass, not finding a yellow jersey. You got to think at this point, whatever happens, it's going to be too little too late for the Raptors. Just 5 minutes remaining. And Moonlight able to get in there. Not sure who that pass was intended to, or intended for, I should say.
As you see, Lyle, Sam Malcolm leaving the field. And which players would you single out that impressed you today in today's game, Kit?
I think first and foremost, you've got to look at Leandro Cololevas. He was outstanding. Those 2 tries really gave Toronto a fast start in the first half. Had 2 tries in the first 40 minutes, and that gave them a huge advantage with the 4 tries. Look at the other side.
Backwards.
McGee's been fantastic with the boot, as he always has. Really, it's about Toronto, and I would say the Arrows, it's about team defense. It's hard to single out one of the 15 and even the reserves who've come on, because they've hung their hat on all season. All 23 have to play a part, and they have today.
Certainly have, as Parfrey's kick goes down the throat of Dylan Takata Simpson. And the Kiwi tap dancer goes to the halfway line.
If you're going to get to this part of the season, a chance to make the playoffs, you have to have upwards of 30 players that can contribute, and the depth has really been there for Toronto.
So impressed that 11 of their players that started this game, over 100 tackles each. That is phenomenal as Cody O'Neill attacks the line. And Kano Lloyd tries to get over that one. Told to let go was Blake Rogers, the country singer. Still the men in yellow, and intercepted. Great skill there from Lloyd. Kicked over the top there from Donato. Comes to
Inside.
Dylan Takata-Simpson. Has he got anything left in those legs? Oh, what a jump step. He drifts across field. No one's running onto that. So flat-footed Ryberg takes this. Gets through the first one. Ryberg beats a couple. Still going.
6 away.
I'd like to see him in full flight, as we've seen earlier this season. Al-Jaburi attacks as well. 3 minutes to go. Malifa spins it wide. Campbell Johnson on the field as well, wearing 23, the young fresh face. Quick hands there to Rogers again.
Tackle 5.
Really struggling to get over the advantage line. Al-Jaburi, big contact on him coming in from Malazzo. Malifa again, this one just knocked by an arrow hand.
It's just knocked on in the tackle.
And that'll eat up time on the clock.
You asked about who the MVP of today's match is, and Leivas has been there, but again, for me, it's everyone in white. The team defense, and obviously that's a cop-out to say all 23, but that has really been it. And it doesn't matter who's been out there. If it's been a reserve, if it's been a starter, and everyone for Toronto is bought in. They understand that that is what they have to do, and they have. Certainly these last 5 matches, the reason they're unbeaten in 5 is because of the team defense.
Well, Kit, that interview is going to be a long one when all 3 have to receive the reward.
I don't think Sam's happy with my response.
Okay.
But Gaston Meadows at the back, as you said, so creative and fullback. Sam Malcolm has controlled things as well in the backs and in the forwards. Well, a ton of work shared. See, take a look there at John Moonlight, seasoned campaigner, returns to the flank position.
Crouch. Bind.
Timely return as well as his side. Get 5 points out of this game. 1 more league fixture remaining for the home side here next week. Taramai looking to break out. Murphy Taramai, the Murph on the run. Ned Stark just tries to stop him there, does more.
There are offside lines, fellas.
O'Neill has to duck down to collect this one. Al-Jaburi looking for a last try. The Raptors to close out their season.
No, let's go. No, it's perfect timing.
Connor Cook still available just outside the 22. Sean Davies
Hold.
digs this one out, getting a couple of low high fives. Brendan Daly, yet again, Eagle debut, 2018 against Chile. Flat ball to Blake Rogers. Sneaky Malifa with a little kick through. It's too much toe onto that one. And that pretty much sums up tonight's effort from the Glendale Raptors. And all credit go to the Toronto Arrows that are victorious in this game by 40 points to 12. A stunning 6-try to 2 victory. And we're going to take a short break and come back with more analysis here very soon. Stay with us. It's the Arrows 40, Glendale 12 at full time at Lamport Stadium.
Fans, they want to hear some noise. Make some noise for your Toronto Arrows.
It's 6 wins in a row for the Toronto Arrows, this time beating the Glendale Raptors by 40 points to 12. And one of those stars for the home team, the X-Factor, Gaston Miraz, player of the match, is with Sam McDade at sideline.
Thank you so much, guys. Gaston, they're calling you the X Factor on the broadcast, and you definitely were in today's game. For you, what impressed you most about your play today?
I think like it was a teamwork, team effort. Team did really well. We played 80 minutes. We controlled the game really good. Our defense was really good. The forwards did a big part of the game, and we should be proud about that.
6-game winning streak for you guys. You have New York coming in next week, and you're in that playoff push. What's the key to a win there again?
Well, we have to keep on working. We know every game is really hard, but we trust in our system, we trust in our team. The guys are really doing a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, and we have good games in the last couple of weeks, so we're really happy about that.
Gaston, lastly, before I let you go, it's Cancer versus Rugby Day today. How important was that to embrace the theme in today's game?
It's really good. It's really good to mix rugby with this issue. So we're really proud to have this jersey today and get the wing for that as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gaston. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the win. We'll send it back to you guys in the broadcast studio.
Thanks, Sam. Take a look at the updated standings right now. And with that victory, into third position, the Toronto Arrows with 53 points. But you can take a look there as well. Rugby United New York and Nola Gold also on 53. 1 week to go. I don't think you'll have any fingernails left if you keep watching Major League Rugby in 2019. The top 4, remember, go into the playoffs, and that'll happen on June 8th and 9th. But one more game for the home team coming up as well. So thanks for joining us at Lamport Stadium in Toronto, where the Arrows have defeated Glendale Raptors by 40-12. For Kip McConaughey, Sam McDade, and L2 Productions, I'm Dallin Stafford saying thanks for watching and good night, you sleek sensations.